All right, Willie P, welcome back to the press conferences. Take it away.
What's going on, Christian? How are you?
All good, thank you.
Uh,
Thank you.
we saw Josviak show up on the injury report. What's the latest on him, and just how questionable is questionable with him?
How long is a piece of string? How questionable is a questionable? I think Kamil felt something during the week, but we have a very good performance department, and Caro and Camille is a hardworking guy, so they started to work on recovery straight away, and I think he's making really good progress. So we will see tomorrow. He will have a test really early in the morning to see whether he can be for the full training, and then we will decide it tomorrow morning. But at the moment, we all are quite positive about it.
I know necessity is the mother of all invention. The decision to go with Harrison at the left back and bring in Nathan, I know that was something that was, I think, caught a little bit of us by surprise and not bringing in Joseph. What did you like about that combination? And with Christian obviously out this week, is that something you maybe look towards for this week, or do you maybe see Joseph maybe slotting into that left back role?
You are in a philosophical mode today, yeah?
Very much so.
Yeah, good. And so I think that we have some players that they are really, really good. They can be polyvalent, so they can play in different positions. Don't forget that Harrison played many, many games for Ghana national team, which is a very, very strong national team as a left back. And so I think that he's in a good moment of form. That's credit to his professionality. Harry has been working hard from day one until today, showing true professionalism. Same Joseph Mora also is a very, very good professional. And this competition in the squad is great to have. We have very experienced players at fullback. Obviously, Christian will be out. For me, Harrison can play there, Joseph can play there, and whoever plays will be probably just a tactical choice that I will have to make and I will take into consideration a number of things. But whoever plays, I think Charlotte is in good hands, because these guys are really good players as well as great professionals.
I know it's a small sample size on the pitch, but what have you noticed from Nathan, not only from a leadership standpoint? I know that you obviously could see a lot more from him going forward when you have 11 on the pitch, but what have you liked, what you've seen from him?
Yeah, I mean, Nathan is a solid player, solid professional player. I spent many times in England, and I know how difficult it is. The Championship is a league sometimes underrated. I think that many players in that league can go and play in any league in the world. And Nathan has been played in that league for many years, solidly, year in, year out. Come from the academy of Tottenham, one of the best in the UK for sure. And so he has a great football background. What I like about him is that he's a solid player. He can go forward. He can defend well. He's a great communicator on the pitch. He talks to his teammates constantly. He has a good way of talking to players, because sometimes it's just not just talking, it's how you talk, what tone you have. And he is always reassuring. He's always letting you know where he is, what to do. He encourages. For me, it's a great acquisition for us from that point of view, as well as being a very, very good player. And I've seen him also as solid as I've seen him so far, especially going down to 10. I thought it was difficult for Pellegrini to go past him. And a lot of time, I know how good he is, the left winger of New York City. When he came on, he was fresh. And also Nathan came out late, he was fresh too. But a lot of time he forced Pellegrini to play the ball back inside. He didn't go past him on his strong foot, and that tells how Nathan is solid as a player. So we are very happy with him so far, and he settled straight away into the squad.
And lastly from me, in terms of, you mentioned this being basically like a mini season. How much does a result like last Saturday allow you to maybe kind of bottle that up, not just for these next 4 games, but for the future with this squad? Because that's the kind of result that I don't think your squad has had, where they've had to survive in that fashion with a 1-goal lead.
Yeah, it's very important that the teams believes that they can get results in different ways. We, as an identity, I said many times, we want to be the team that goes and play and try to play as high as possible onto the pitch. But sometimes that's not possible for the quality of the opposition, also because you might go down to 10 men, and so it becomes more difficult. So to have the belief that you can also play and survive in those conditions is very important. And it happened that we have to defend the lead against, for example, Columbus away or Red Bulls at home. And we always had Guzman, that we know is one of our best defenders, and this time also to be able to do it with one player less and with a young defender like Adil, for me, and the new player like Nathan, for me, add extra value to that. Obviously, it's a collective effort. I thought that the strikers worked really well. The players that came onto the pitch work really hard and really well. So it's a collective effort always. But I think it's great to have this win in this way behind under our belt, because it gives the player confidence. Because I can talk as much as I want, but until they actually go out and do it, that really has value more than my words.
Thank you, Christian. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right, Steve?
Hey, good morning, Christian.
Good morning.
Before going into the season and much of the way through it, making the playoffs was one of the characteristics used to define as what might be a successful season for this first year. Even if Charlotte wins out the next few games, it's not under the team's control as to whether they make that cut line or not. So what I'm wondering is, like, what do you and your technical staff, how do you define what the success of this season for the club?
Yeah, it's a good question, because success obviously is always related to result, right? Especially in professional football. You win, you have success. You don't win, you don't have success. But I think that there are different things to consider, to take into consideration, and I'm not trying to find any excuse at all, or having any alibi. But when you are a club, a new franchise, I think that the most important thing is to see progress. Because if you want to have, as I said many times, your own identity, if you want to really to give sustainability to your success or to your team, you need to have a clear way of doing things. And so for me, success is also to see progress in the way that we want to play, and to see the players understanding more and more and executing more and more what we want to do, and to establish a clear identity to Charlotte. Basically, for us, what we want to see is that when people see Charlotte FC, they see a clear brand of football that is in line with the trend of how football is played at the highest level. So we want to be dynamic, we want to be energetic, press high, playing always to win. And our effort is to go in that direction. Sometimes you succeed in that, sometimes you don't, and sometimes the result don't go your way. But I think we have to be patient. And as I said the last time, I totally understand the fans that they can be upset with the result if they don't come. But I also believe that they are clever enough to see if the team is playing well, is competing against clubs that they have many more years behind them to build what they are. So I think that the fact that we are competing toe to toe against everybody, home or away, I think it's already for us is a good sign. We are proud of that, and of course we want to get the result. Don't get me wrong, but one thing at a time, and we will get there.
Well, that's the passion of the game, isn't it? If the players aren't upset with losses, if the fans aren't upset, then essentially they don't care. that they are upset
Sure.
shows that they care about
Sure.
what's going on.
And I can assure you that we are very upset. It's not that we take it lightly, but what I was trying to say is that we don't have to throw everything out because of a result that doesn't go our way, but we have to analyze why it didn't go our way, and we have to keep improving and to keep believing in the process of what we are doing, because ultimately I think it will pay off. We just have to be patient. That doesn't mean that we don't have passion. I can tell you that the boys, and we are all very passionate about the result. Don't worry about that.
No, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, Jorge?
Hey, good morning, Lattanzio. How are you?
Good morning, Jorge. Fine. You?
Good, good. First of all, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the game you've got coming up against Chicago Fire. Last time you guys lost at home 2-3, and they played last night as well. I wanted to see, do you feel a little bit of an advantage going into this game, given that they have an extra game that they've played?
Yeah, they played 2 nights ago. Not last night, 2 nights ago they played, but I don't know if it's an advantage. Maybe if we played at home, maybe yes, but given the fact that they will play at home, I think it kind of levels things out. They are a team that, like us, is fighting to go to win as many games as possible, to try to have a chance to go to the playoff. They improved a lot in the second part of the season. And so we think that it's going to be a hard game, but we also want that it's going to be a hard game for them too. So we will go there with our, with our conviction, our belief that, like we said before, in our mini season, we want to keep going as strong as we can. We know it's going to be a tough game, but we want to be a tough game for them too.
Okay, perfect. And we've seen Jordi Reyna wasn't on the bench last game. Was that a tactical decision, or did he have an injury?
It was my decision. It was my decision. I think I value Jordi very, very highly. We have this conversation between me and him, a lot. He knows what I think. I try to be as clear as possible, and we have a very transparent relationship, professional relationship. I value him a lot. I think he's a very good guy. He has a very good heart, very helpful with the team, with his teammates. Maybe because of his quality, I want always more from him. I think with talent also come responsibility. But he trained really well this week. Yes, I started him in the past because I believe in him 100%, and I want always the best. But it's true that we have very good strikers too. We have, and there is competition. So in the end, I have to make choices, tough choices. Like sometimes I kept Danny out of the squad for tactical reasons, and this time I decided, in the last couple of games, I decided to start him because I think his characteristics and were right for us in this moment, and he showed how professional he is by never giving up. Obviously, when he was not in the squad, he wasn't happy, rightly so, but he always showed on the pitch. He responded always on the pitch by training really hard and well. And I say to everybody when I make the decision who's going to come in the 20, that the next week we start everything from scratch. Everything starts from zero. And it's a new week, it's a new way of impressing the coaching staff, of working hard, and then we open a new page, a new chapter, like it's going to be, like it was this week. And I want to say this publicly, the boys they always train well, but this week they train really hard. Even better, I think that I can see them improving in intensity, the way they train. I'm very happy and proud of them, whatever happens, because it's a squad that make Charlotte FC and the supporters proud on a daily basis on the pitch. I can guarantee you that.
Perfect, thanks. And then just last question. Today begins Hispanic Heritage Month, and I just wanted maybe your thoughts on what you've seen from the Latino community not only for Charlotte, but for Charlotte FC to the fan base, how they've embraced MLS?
I think it's top, honestly. I think that the fan base and the Latino community, I know how much passion they have for football. I love that passion. I love the South American way of living football, breathing football. Is very similar to where I come from. We have many things in common football-wise with the Latino community. In Italy, when I was growing up, many players from South America came to Serie A, and they were making us dream as a kids. So I understand the passion, and as I said many times, Jorge, the fan base in Charlotte is second to none here, honestly. And again, I have a little bit of experience in different countries, and this is one of the best atmosphere I've seen. So great, really good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Couple more, Mike.
I cannot hear you, Mike.
All right, let's try that. That better?
Yeah, now yeah.
Okay.
I hope
right,
you
well-
talk about movies today.
Well, if you give me some good answers, I may throw a movie question at you. Getting
Okay.
back to Jordy not being in the lineup last week, the same was true for Jalen. How does he perhaps factor in to Chicago this week with Christian being out?
We are looking at different options. We have good squad. Jalen has been great, and for me, the worst part of the job is when I have to tell one player that trained really well that effort-wise deserve to be in the squad, that is not going to be part of the squad, and that decision is not taken lightly. It's considering many things. It also happened with Quinn McNeil, that I value very highly. First and foremost, as a guy, I think he brings energy, positivity, and work ethic in everything he does, as well as being a very good player. I rate him very highly, but I thought that there is competition, and the competition, Jordi Alcivar was trained well, and Nuno Santos the same, and so we have a number of players, Brandt and DJ playing really well. Ben Bender, always we know what he can contribute. With Carroll being pushed as an attacking midfielder, the competition is there. And so I don't take decision lightly, like with Harrison, with Nathan. It was hard for the team to have 3 right backs I couldn't justify tactically that. And so I thought that in this moment, Nathan and Harrison were a little bit in front of Jalen, but Jalen, I'm very happy with him. He knows what I think of him. I love his attitude. I love the way he plays. But in football, it's like that. It happens in every club. And this is something that never goes away. If you look even at the best teams in the world, I was looking yesterday, the Champions League, Man City, for example, Borussia Dortmund, and you see on the bench players like Bernardo Silva, like, players, Phil Foden. And so out of the squad, I'm not sure, but I'm sure that there will be players that could probably start in every Premier League team. So the higher you go, that will never go away, because the competition in football is just high, and they just have to keep training well, taking their opportunity when it comes, and it goes in cycles, because some players are in form one cycle, then they might not be, and opportunities will come. So there will be some tough choices tomorrow as well, but I always do them having the Charlotte FC, at the center of my thoughts. Sometimes I get it wrong. I mean, I'm not perfect by all means. So I do what I think is right in that moment, and I might regret that, but I need to take the decision before the game is played.
And is that, it would seem that that's almost a coach's dream to have that luxury of having that kind of those kind of choices to make when setting the lineup, because you've got so many guys that you can choose from.
It is, until the day you have to tell one of those guys that they are out of the 20. So it's, in theory, it's great. It is until the until Friday morning, and then after, when you have to tell one of those guys that they're not in, at least for me, maybe for other coaches it's different and they can handle that well. For me, it's difficult when I see. It's easy when somebody doesn't do well. In the week, it's very easy. But as I said, this week everybody trained so well that to let some of them not being part of the 20, and I want to mention also in this instance, Chris Eggert and Koa Santos, that they contribute weekly really, really well to the training of the team. So they are part of the preparation and they don't get mentioned often, but I want to mention them because even though they go and play for Charlotte Independence most of the weeks, they help the team immensely during the week. And so it's not easy to not to give these guys an opportunity because they also contributed. If you remember when we played in Montreal, they came on really well, both of them. Koa actually started and Chris Eggert came on. So I have them in my mind as well, even though they don't get mentioned a lot. And I know how much they contribute in the week. So it's a dream job to have that. It's a dream, but until the day you have to tell them that they're not part of the 20.
You've mentioned over and over the last few weeks, even though the results may not have been there, that you've liked the way that your team has played. So you guys are playing the right way, and sometimes you just don't get the break or the bounce. But with this being the last one before the international break, does the break come at a good time for your team, or does it come at a bad time because you want to keep the good play going and the momentum rolling, but you're not going to be able to play until after Chicago?
Listen, I want to be positive and I don't want to say that it comes to a bad time. If we can choose, sometimes we would choose differently, but this is the way it is. We need to get on with everything. And when I say that I was happy the way the team was playing, I didn't want to be arrogant or big-headed thinking, we are playing well. It's just that I love the way that the guys go out to try to win games and to try to be aggressive in their play with the ball and without the ball. Obviously, we are still work in progress to a certain degree. We want to improve. I can see guys improving in many different ways, but this is my view. When I review the game, a lot of times I feel for the boys because I feel that they deserve more in certain games. And I felt that in the last few. Likely we got the break against New York City, that as he showed yesterday, winning, and I want to congratulate them. And I'm very happy for the players and the coaching staff, for the winner in the Campeones Cup, that they are a team very much alive. And I saw them against Cincinnati in the first half. Cincinnati team that beat 6-0 San Jose. So, and the way New York played against Cincinnati. So because sometimes when we get the result, it looks like, yeah, but New York is not doing well. And I saw them and I thought that New York was a very, very dangerous team, New York City. So that it's a credit to our boys, the way they handle them. Between two big performances, yesterday winning the cup and the week before playing a really, really strong game against Cincinnati, and in my opinion, deserving the win. But so, our boys sometimes, I believe that they don't get the credit that they deserve. Maybe because we are a young club, a young team, but I think that they made us proud on a weekly basis. Even though the results sometimes don't go our way, and then it looks like the end of the world.
Last one for me, and here's your movie question: who plays Christian
So it means
Lattanzio?
So it means I was good in the.
You were very good. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
You're always.
I was
very good.
waiting for the movie.
Who plays Christian Lattanzio in the movie of your life?
I don't know. Listen, that's a great question. I don't know.
I mean, who
In
would you want?
order to make me look good, he has to be a great, great, great actor. I can tell you that.
Usually the first one is somebody would say like DiCaprio or somebody like that. I was hoping
No,
you'd go
no,
there.
he's a lot better looking than me. No, he would be a lot very flattering. I don't know.
I'm thinking Matt Damon, Mike.
Hey, yeah, I would be very happy with that. But I would be really curious to see if you mention my name to them, what they would say. They don't have a clue, I think. Anyway, thank you.
Thanks, Christian. Make sure that he gets some deep dish pizza this weekend.
Thank-
All right, last
Thank
two
you.
here, Caleb and then Sam.
Hey Christian, hope you're doing well. I wanted to ask you
morning.
about Derek Jones's resurgence into the team. Could you talk to me about what you've seen differently in Derek Jones to warrant him the starts recently, and as well about his performances throughout this period?
I'm very happy for DJ because DJ is a guy that brings a lot of positivity in the changing room. He's a really nice guy, and I love that. For me, the person is always come before the player, and I want to have around very good people for the club, and then obviously very good players, but both, not one at the expenses of the other one. And so DJ, first and foremost, is a guy that very likable, great, and I think he's adding urgency to his game. He knows we have a joke, and not so much a joke, that I like to push him because I can see that there is more in him. Sometimes he's a little bit laid back, and I want him to be more on the forefront because he's got many qualities that I like. He can play as a small player. He's careful with the ball. He has a good close control. He can play as a big player because he's the physicality, can win the ball. He can win headers, can be a little bit of an enforcer. And I think at this stage of his career, he should be further than he is. And that's why I want to push him, because he should have played, you know, he should have played more games in MLS. He should have had more, because I think he's capable. And my duty until I'm here is to push everybody to reach as much as they can. And with old age come a little bit of experience, as I said in the past. And I've seen players, I've seen many players, and I think DJ has got the qualities to play at very good level. And he just have to have more urgency that he's showing, but I will keep pushing because I think that there is more in him.
Great. Yeah, he's been one of my favorite players to have watched throughout this series of games. So thank you for that.
Good. Thank you.
All right, last one to Sam here.
Hey, Coach.
Hello, Sam.
Will and Woody might have a couple more for you offline, but there's one question I wanted to ask you online, and the feature I'm doing is a little more lighthearted this week. I asked 10, 11 members of the team who the funniest person on the team was, and they can't agree, and it seems like everybody has a different answer. So I wanted your take on it.
I think that there are a few that I can think of in different ways. And I can see why they don't have, because I think we have a very good bunch of players here, very good bunch of people, really different from each other. I think some are kind of funny, you can tell straight away, because you know they are in your face, a little funny in your face. Some less so, because there is maybe the language barrier, but I can see, and I can, because I understand a little bit of Spanish, even though I might make up that I don't as much as I do, but I understand quite a bit, also because Italian is not that different. And so I think that there are a few that they are funny. And as you asked me this question, you know, I wanted to give you a couple of names, but then many in my mind, more and more come. And so then after I become boring because I'm going to mention everyone. But I can say that I cannot think of one guy, let me put it like that, that is not funny. I think that everybody is, honestly. And everybody is coming to, I don't think that there is a funniest one. I think that they're all pretty funny.
All right, I'll take it.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks.
We will see you Saturday online.